this is a first time for me, and this is the first time I'm actually watching a remake of an anime. I'm talking about Urusei Yatsura. If you don't know already, Urusei Yatsura is supposedly a pretty popular show in the 80s, but right now it got a complete remake top to bottom. And I just want to talk about why we don't have animes like these anymore, and also why we should be making more anime remakes of older anime. While I do know remaking an anime can take a lot of effort, more than that, a big problem of it is appeasing the fans and the audience. And the biggest problem for that is losing what you actually built up back in the day, and actually reworking on it is a big no-no for a lot of people. And I do know that a lot of people do have sentiments to these animes, and reworking on them could actually lead to a disaster. But that does not always need to be the case though. For example, Urusei Yatsura here, which is an anime airing this season, is a remake of an 80s show, and it is actually pretty good. I haven't watched the original show, so I can't really talk about the accuracy, but I really love it, at least in the art style. So let's talk about the art style of Urusei Yatsura compared to the 80s. Urusei Yatsura's 80s style is kind of really, well, 80s style, and they actually completely translated that over to 2022 with exactly the same art style, but by using newer technology they improved it to the point it looks modern, but it still hasn't lost its charm. And I think that's a big reason why Urusei Yatsura wasn't hated anywhere. I'm not exactly sure, as I said before, I don't know the accuracy of how far they're actually going into this anime like this, but at least from the surface level, Urusei Yatsura seems like a pretty good adaptation of the older anime. I don't know all the insider stuff, but the base level Urusei Yatsura looks like a pretty big win. And at least on the online forums, I really haven't seen anything bad about the show either. It seems to be pretty positive overall, and yeah, I just love it too. This is my first time watching Urusei Yatsura, and I think this is a really great show. It's extremely funny, and I think it has got its charm to it. It's a pretty different take on a lot of animes I watch these days, because I think back in the 80s they really didn't care much about how wacky it can go, and they just completely went top to bottom and didn't care even a little bit about what the people would think. Like, even everything that you see and every comedy that you hear, I think are still even better than a lot of the modern anime. I'm not sure how much they've actually altered the anime, but I think at least for the most part they have kept it neat and tidy and close to the source. Other than that, now I just want to talk about why we don't have more anime remakes. Anime remakes, as I said already, could be a really big deal for a lot of people because of the sentiments it holds. And yeah, I do understand that, but that's not really a problem, because I think the studios should at least try to make a couple of these anime remakes, at least for these shows which weren't super popular back in the day. Like, for example, even for me, because I never knew Urusei Yatsura was a popular show or it ever existed. The only reason I know about Urusei Yatsura is because I saw this airing on summer 2022 weekly anime, and I just want to check it out, and looks like it's a pretty good show. And that's the reason a lot of people find new anime like this, and remakes can help people know about older anime but also enjoy it in a newer fashion. No matter how much you hate on these people, including me, it's just not going to work out. And no matter how much you hate on these people for not knowing the older anime, it's just how it is. A lot of people just don't know how a lot of the older anime were, and that's exactly the reason why these remakes could be a really good thing for the anime community, because the anime community can now enjoy these older animes in a newer fashion, and at least they can go back and watch the originals because now they know how these newer animes look, because now they at least know that these animes weren't actually new and were a remake of the older ones. So what do you guys think about anime remakes, and do you think it should be something which should exist in this timeline? Anyway, that's about it. I just want to talk about anime remakes and how Urusei Yatsura is a pretty good show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.